week, one of your activities is to create a map of the ocean currents and the winds. So, and there's some color things. It's like, make this red, make this blue, you know, make this green, you know, label this, label that. If you're not in the mood to do coloring, which is fine, although, you know, it's better for your brain if you do, meaning for, you know, recall and stuff like that, but you don't have to. You could do it all using pictures. You could start with these two pictures. This upper picture is a picture of the wind patterns in on the world, and then this is a picture of the ocean currents. And these are a good start, but they're not enough. And they're not enough because I've asked for each of the currents to be labeled. So for example, the California current, which is the one that goes by California. Yeah, it's hard to figure out some of these currents. But this blue one that goes by California is called the California current. And, you know, these are only the major ones. This is showing you like the Gulf Stream and things like that. But there are others. These are all named. So if you look at the activity, it tells you what to do. And again, so it's like, you know, use brown, not green, all the land masses, including Antarctica. So what you would do is find a map that shows the land masses that are, each one is colored, you know, they can all be the same, but they should be labeled. It should say like Asia and Europe and Antarctica and stuff like that. So it needs to be labeled, all right? And then all the water, obviously, and then those should also be labeled. Of course, if you look back at this, that it's labeled here, Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean. So a lot of them, so like this one here would work for the first two, they're brown and blue. They don't have to necessarily be brown and blue. You just need to know, you know, kind of what they are. And then it wants you to draw these lines. So that one's a little more complicated to get a map that only has 0, 30, 60, and 90 in the northern and southern hemispheres. Because this one is done in 20s. They do exist, but those numbers are important, and you'll see why. Oh, look, it's over here on this map. That's right, done with that one. And again, I share these, so all you have to do. But here are all the ones that need to be labeled. We used to have, back when I first created this, you can just Google ocean currents labeled. You may have to come up with two different ones, like one for the warm currents, one for the cool currents. A lot of times they're not all, so make sure they're all labeled somewhere in those pictures. So you may need like 3 pictures in order to get these, you know, labeled, all of these labeled, but make sure they're all in there. So don't just cheeseball it and give me, you know, the one I gave you, because that one, that's not going to work. Only a few of them are labeled. And then this is just how to do it. And then this is the trade winds, which is in that picture up here. So this one would be fine for the trade winds. So this one's good for the winds. This one's good for the oceans and the continents, and the reds and the blues. But you want to get them so that they're labeled, so you know, like, well, I don't know. Yeah, you need to make sure that they're properly colored, in my opinion, because the idea is that you'll have the resource available to you, so that you would know just by looking at this resource that the California current is blue. So if you were to put this and then just have the ones labeled, that would be fine, but put them like right next to each other or right on top of each other on the same page, so that it gives me the impression that you understand that, you know, here are the currents in color and here they are labeled, so that you can quickly figure out which are which. Because if you get asked, you know, what is the name of the current that travels, you know, past the east coast of the United States. And you should know where the United States is, or North America is. So if you don't know your continents, make sure you find a map that has them labeled, or label them, because you may come across questions that ask you questions about, you know, where certain currents are. So like, what's the name of the major current that circles the Tropic of Capricorn in the Atlantic Ocean, which is why these things are asking you to label certain things. So it's like, you know, label all the oceans and stuff like that. All right. So, and then here's the map if you want to color it yourself. That also works. So hopefully I'm as clear as mud on that particular one.